So if you have to graph a function, if you're trying to do it without a graphing calculator, you should start by finding the asymptotes. And you could go back and study a video where we decide how to make horizontal and vertical asymptotes. This one has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. This one has a vertical asymptote at x equals -2. Because -2 is what you'd plug into the denominator to make that be 0. So let's sketch those out on our graph real quick. Horizontal asymptote at y equals 0 goes across like this. So we know as the graph goes off to infinity, I'll never touch that horizontal line that I'm trying to draw here. And at x equals -2, we know the graph will never touch, because that's as it goes off to as y goes off to positive infinity and negative infinity. So to find out what the rest of the graph looks like, we got an idea. So we could get a few other quick characteristics about our graph. X-intercepts occur where y equals 0, but in this case there's no x-intercept, because we just saw that there's a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. But the big reason is because if you plug in 0 in for y, you can't find an x to make that be true. But there is a y-intercept. Y-intercepts are found just by plugging in 0 in for x. We get 1/2. Okay. Now that means at positive 1/2, our graph is going to cross that part of the axis. And with these reciprocal functions, they don't do any funny business. If it's going to cross there, the graph is going to be continuous right here. Yeah, the graph's going to look like that. It's going to cross through that y-intercept, and if it has an asymptote right here, it approaches it but doesn't reach it. And then it's in the opposite direction on the other side. Because if you study the parent function of the reciprocal function, we usually refer to y equals 1 over x as the parent function for reciprocal functions. This graph looks like this. Okay, so the graph that we're dealing with here is the same thing as this graph over here in green, but because of that +2, it means it's shifted 2 spaces to the left. So that's another way of doing this. But that's our final answer. This is the sketch of the graph.